Welcome everyone to another edition of Reino de la Mascaras, the Kingdom of the Masks. As always, I'm your host, Ray de Mascaras, and today I want to talk to you about a pilgrimage I made last month, only just a couple of weeks ago. It feels like so much longer, but it was an incredible thing. So back in December, First Wrestling out of Minneapolis, Minnesota announced a Lucha Libre 4-way. And after seeing the lineup of who was coming, I knew I had to make it. Tricky part, Time Bomb Pro out of Fargo, North Dakota was also running, and we already had tickets there. So I saw that Effie was coming to Fargo. We love Effie. And noticed also he was going to be in Minneapolis. So I may or may not have leveraged her getting to see Effie 2 days in a row to make this trip happen. I also offered to drive from where we live to Fargo, from Fargo to my parents' house, from my parents' house to Minneapolis, and back. All that driving. I did all that driving so that she could rest. She would not feel the exhaustion that I felt. But anyway, so we got down there Friday. We got settled in, got this awesome shirt from Mr. Gringo Loco, and it was so cool to talk with him. We got to talk pretty much everything, with regards to current day Lucha Libre. We talked about the Vikingo streaming thing, which is funny because then a couple weeks after that, his matches were able to be streamed, but he was not aware that Defy Wrestling was able to show Nick Wayne and Vikingo, so he was excited about that. I was really grateful. I made a joke. If you know me, when it comes to dive catching, I am super perfectionist. Anytime I see a bad dive catch, I will call it out. So we got joking because First Avenue is a pretty intimate environment for wrestling. And so we talked about it. And I said, well, I'm right over there. I pointed where we're out. I said, if you need to dive right there. And he goes, you better be ready to catch. I said, hey, I'll be ready to catch. I said, I'm not overly experienced, but I got to be better than. And I mentioned the wrestler, and he kind of looked at me and he chuckled. I'm like, oh, thank you. Because I try not to make too many quote unquote inside jokes, and it just kind of rolled off my tongue. But the match happened. It was spectacular. I believe the DVD or the Blu-ray DVD MP4 will be out soon on Smart Mark Video. Check it out. You won't regret it. But anyway, as the match happened, I happened to notice this guy hanging off of the ring post right in front of me. So I didn't think much of it. I got to talk to Commander after the match, hoping to grab a mask from him. He didn't have any, unfortunately, so I did make sure to grab a t-shirt. Also congratulated him on having not only the spot of the year for 2022, but the dive of the year. Very, very spectacular stuff there. So he was very thankful as I thanked him for that. Then I got to talk to Arez and ask him about the mask he had for sale, and he pointed to this one here and said, well, this is the one I used tonight. I said, well, that was an easy choice, and I took care of it. Also got it signed. So this makes the first mask that I have bought in person that got signed that was also ring worn. If you remember, I did get some masks from Arrow Boy signed, but they were not ring worn. So again, this first time I got to have one that was ring worn that night and get it signed and everything. So this one definitely gonna have a spot in the top three for the masks I own. Definitely one that I will hold very near and dear, knowing that I was there live when the match happened, when he walked out wearing this. So absolutely cool piece. One of my favorites up until this week was the newest mask in my collection. I've got a different video to show off on that, but it's another very cool piece. So I'll show that off. Also, I have gotten a few questions from both here and Instagram asking where I buy stuff, how to buy stuff. So I might do a video covering that before I show off my latest piece. just because I have gotten a few questions on that, and it is something kind of like the masquerade video I did. I feel like maybe I should have done before I jumped in headfirst on these. So look out for that coming in the next week or so. I am in the office next week, but I always make time here. So thank you as always for joining. Like, subscribe, spread the word. You know, once we hit 50 subscribers, I might be able to start doing lives on here, and I would like to certainly like to do lives here. I do lives on Instagram, but it'd be kind of cool to kind of bounce back and forth. So, as always, thank you for joining me. Happy collecting. Life, liberty, lucha libre. We'll see you later.